If we talk about the family law subject for the point of view of the CLAT PG exam, one thing is very certain. This particular subject is very, very important. The reasons for the same are very, very simple. Number one, this subject is very easy to prepare. Therefore, scoring in this subject also becomes easier. So it is very, very imperative for you to score as much marks as you can because everybody is scoring those marks. So the differentiation between the high scorers and the low scorers will be adjudged from the marks that you get in family law. Second, every year at least two passages are being asked for family law in 2020, 2021, and 2022. The number of questions that are being asked is constant. So definitely the time and the number of hours you're gonna put in for this exam for preparing family law is gonna be flat. You already know what you have to do. Therefore, in this video, we will talk about in great detail as to how you can prepare family law for the CLAT PG 2023 examination. What are the topics that you have to study? What is the paper analysis say? What are the things that you have to keep in mind? Everything we will discuss in this video. So do watch this video till the end. Now, if I talk about firstly, how you have to study family law. Now, see, understand. The point where you come at your preparation is that you are either in your 5-year law course and you're in last year, or you are already preparing for some other exam of law and you are preparing for CLAT itself, and or you are preparing for PSUs, you are in a job. So first you need to analyze as to what is the level of preparation that you have already, because without analysis there is no point in preparing, just going head on and start preparing. Firstly, analyze, take up a list of topics that are given. We will provide you a list of topics that are important. The link of the same is in the description. You can check that out. Use that list or take up the syllabus that you have from your law college times. Use that. Mark out what topics are important for you and what are the topics that you know and what are the topics that you do not have a command over. Secondly, start collecting the relevant study material. For family law, if I would suggest AK Jain is one of the best books that you can use for preparing family law. But also make sure that, you know, if you want to go in a bit deep, you have to go for Paras Diwan or some other commentary sort of a book, only for understanding the concepts that you are not able to understand. And if you want to make it a bit easier, use YouTube videos, because there are a lot of YouTube teachers that have made a whole playlist of family law videos. So just watch those videos, find out which teacher is the one that suits you the best, and start watching those videos and supplement it. Once you have done with that, depending upon your style, if you want to study, say, by watching a video or by, you know, studying from a book, it's up to you. Do that. Revise the subject as you want to. If you've not read a particular topic, then read it from scratch. Do whatever you have to. You have at least 4 months or 5 months before this exam that are remaining. You have to do it. After that, start reading the case laws from each subject. If I talk about family law specifically, there are at least 40 to 50 cases from 2019 to 2022, and in the coming months, the cases that will be added, that you have to read. Not more than 50, so it is a very, very easy subject to read. The questions that are being asked are being asked. We will talk about the pattern in which the questions are being asked. After that, once you have done with it, take up a book, basically a book that contains MCQs for family law itself. If I talk about a very good book, I would say Singles. There is a volume of 3 books. Basically, you can purchase that particular book. The link is in the description. You can just get that book, practice from it. I definitely guarantee you no single topic of family law will be left out if you are done preparing from that very book, if you are done the MCQs that are given inside, because every exam that exists on the face of the planet has been covered in that book. So do get that. After that, attempt full length mock papers once you are done with that, because you are reading case laws, you have done subject specific mock MCQs. Then the only thing that is left is attempting full length mock papers, because those will give you an idea as to what is the number of questions that you are getting wrong, what are the areas that you are not prepared, that well prepared, and what are the things that you make into consideration while reading the passage, or you are attacking the question first. Those are the things that will help you analyze and do everything else. So make sure to do that as well. And once you are done with a single mock paper, then definitely revise that, because that is very, very important. Once you are making a mistake, it is very, very important to revise as to what you are, you know, what questions you are making are a mistake into itself. And you, for that, you can obviously go for Sambhav Law's mock paper, because as I can tell you that 90% of the paper was basically predicted in the mock papers itself, so you can understand the accuracy for the same. Now, if I talk about the analysis of last year's paper, now see, the thing is that if you talk about 2020, the case of Shaira Bano was lost, and that was a landmark case. Apart from that, if you come to 2021, Vinita Sharma, Rakesh Sharma, again a landmark case, and that came in the year of 2020 to 2021. So you can understand. Then the next is Sheila Hoti versus Soman Das and Rosie Jacob versus Jacob H. Changamakkal. That is related to guardianship and the principle of parents' patry. So what you see is that one question is being asked from a landmark case, and then the second question is asked from a topic that is not that well known. ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है जो कि उतना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, तो हो सकता है आपने उसको पढ़ा ना हो. Then if you talk about the 2022 paper, फिर से यही चीज रिपीट हुई है. If I talk about Radesh versus Neha, very important case when it comes to the maintenance part of family law. For every particular, like, interim maintenance, when this has to be given, what are the guidelines for the same? Rajneesh versus Neha has covered that. This is very important case. It was a definite that it will come in the CLAT PG exam. Apart from that, Aman Lohia, Kiran Lohia. Now this case basically covers Family Courts Act. They have asked a lot of questions for Family Courts Act. So therefore, my recommendation is that when you are preparing for family law, that in the 2023 paper, what will happen is that one case will be a landmark case, as you can see the pattern, and the second case will be from a particular topic that is not that well known. उतना ज़्यादा well known नहीं है वो टॉपिक, तो आपको केसेस को पढ़ना बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है जो आए हुए हैं, और उनके अंदर जो टॉपिक आए ना उनको बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में पढ़िएगा, बिकॉज उसी में से क्वेश्चन आने वाला. ये पैटर्न आप देख के सीधे से समझ सकते हो. फिर मैं अगर बात करूं फर्दर, और अगर आप ये सोच रहे हो कि ये जो स्पेसिफिक आपके टॉपिक्स हैं वो हैं, ये हम लोग कवर कर रहे हैं हमारे कंप्लीट प्रिपरेशन सीरीज कोर्स के अंदर, जिसके अंदर जितने भी इंपॉर्टेंट केस लॉज हैं फैमिली लॉ के अंदर, उसको मैं टॉपिक वाइज केस लॉ के साथ पूरा पढ़ा रहा हूं वीडियो लेक्चर्स के थ्रू. अगर आपको एनरोल करना है जरूर एनरोल करिए. सब आपके कोर्स के अंदर हम लोगों ने 70 मॉक पेपर्स प्रोवाइड करे हैं. 30 मॉक पेपर्स 2021 वाले, 30 मॉक पेपर्स 2022 के पैटर्न के हिसाब से जो लेटेस्ट पैटर्न है उसमें 30 मॉक पेपर्स करवाने वाले हैं, और साथ में और भी आपका जितना स्टडी मटेरियल केस रिलेटेड सारा का सारा 350 केसेस का हमने इसमें इंक्लूड करा है. तो अगर आपको एनरोल करना है, डेफिनेटली एनरोल इन दिस कोर्स. Now, if I come to the topics that are important for family law. Now, the first very important bare act that you have to consider for family law is Hindu Marriage Act. Now, in Hindu Marriage Act, essentials of a Hindu valid marriage, the terms like sapinda, satpadi, agnates, cognate, etc., you have to know what they are. Okay, Hindu Marriage Act is a very important bare act. Apart from that, Hindu marriage as a contractual like obligation or sacrament, what it is. Then theory of divorce. Now, theory of divorce itself, like the grounds cruelty, desertion, grounds available to wife, both the spouses, divorce by mutual separation, divorce by mutual consent, the theories of mutual divorce, and this and that. Those are very important topics, and there are a lot of case laws that have come for it, so definitely prepare them. Okay, and in divorce also, go for every bare act that is given, and you need to study it from the point of view of a topic itself. If I talk about divorce, if I talk about maintenance, if I talk about other topics that are covered and given under different bare acts, do prepare them. If you don't prepare that, what will happen is that like in this year's paper itself, when the question for Rajni versus Neha came, they went on every bare act. They went for CRPC as well, that what is maintenance under 125 CRPC, like question was from there. Then they came to Hindu Marriage Act as well. So they are considering various bare acts, and they want you to study everything in very deep sense. So just make sure to have a deep understanding of each bare act topic wise. If I talk about the next topic, judicial separation, restitution of conjugal rights, now this is also a topic that is being covered in multiple bare acts. You should know as to in which bare act, which section this particular thing is given. Apart from that, judicial dissolution of marriage, divorce by mutual consent, as I said, maintenance, pendental right, interim maintenance, permanent alimony, these things in Hindu law and as well as Muslim law, you need to know. Apart from that, the next second most important bare act is Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Marriage Act, and Hindu Succession Act. Both these bare acts are very important for this exam, because these are bare acts that contain most of the topics. So you need to prepare them very thoroughly. Now, if I talk about the topics, Mitakshara and Dayabhaga school, what are the differences, how they operate, everything. Karta, power, position, privileges, everything has to be studied in great detail. There are cases like Casey Reddy and Biraj Reddy, and like there are 2-3 cases I'm not able to recall the name properly, but you have to cover those. Then Kopasnari properties, while joint properties, acquired property, what are kinds of properties. Then HUF, what is notional and actual partition. Okay, after that, devolution of property in case of a Hindu female or male, how it goes. Like if we talk about Hindu Succession Act, then under section 14 what is given, under section 15 what is given, what are the rules basically in case of female, especially what happens, because this is a very important topic. Mind it, devolution of property, like if a woman dies interstate, what is the way in which the property will be devolved. That is a very important topic. Do study that. Testamentary and interstate succession, as I said, do study that. Interstate succession, class A rules, that is very important. And women's estate and Stridhan. This particular topic is also important, because in the case of Sridhan, there are like 1 or 2 cases that have come, so do prepare that. Apart from that, other topics, these are the topics that you have to study in brief, but you need to know the most important points from each Bear Act. If I talk about Family Courts Act, Amal Lohia, Kiran Lohia came. So we cannot say that this topic does not become irrelevant. Do study it. It might come, it might not come, but we cannot take chances. So Family Courts Act. Apart from that, Muslim law. See, now Shaira Banu. If I talk about Shaira Banu, that was the only case that came from Muslim law. Apart from that, there are not, like in 2021 and 2022, there were not no questions that were asked from Muslim law. So what I need you to do is study Muslim law deeply. What is marriage, muta marriage, this, that, like the whole, this plethora of things that are there inside Muslim law. Like it is a very, very, I understand it is a very difficult topic to understand in a study, but you need to study it because this time it may happen that it may come in the exam. So please, I beg you, study Muslim law, especially Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019, and there are amendments in the same. Do study that. It is very, very important. Apart from that, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. In this also, the rights of a child, and like in both Hindu Guardianship Minorities Act, rights of a child, and Adoption and Maintenance Act, in both of these, go for the aspect of child's right, and apart from that, the important aspects, like the topics that are being covered, like in case of maintenance, what provisions regarding maintenance are given in the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, like these type of things that you need to study. Apart from that, Prevention of Child Marriages Act, Domestic Violence Act, okay, Dowry Prohibition Act, what are the provisions that stop dowry from happening, and the relationship between this and IPC. And like if we go to CRPC, even in CRPC, there is a 125, section 125 was maintenance studied at. Like you have to establish a relationship. You cannot just study a Bare Act and say that I'm done with it. You need to study the topic and study what provisions are being covered inside the Bare Act, and then only you can say that your study topic in family law is being covered. So accordingly, if you find this video good, and if it's benefited you, then definitely recommend this channel to your other friends as well. If you want to enroll in the complete preparation course, then definitely the link is given in the description below, and I wish you the very best of luck for this examination. Thank you very much. Bye.